Good evening, everybody. I know it has been a very long time since I've ever hosted a live stream, and I'm not going to be on here for a lengthy period of time. However, um, I am going to go ahead and notify some people that I'm on here. Let's see. Uh, that's not what we do. All right. Excuse me. Excuse me for just one moment. Well, I haven't sneezed like that in a long time, but oh well. Anyway, I'm glad to see everybody here tonight, or I will soon, hopefully. Um, let's see if we can contact some people. Oh dear. All right. No, we don't want to do that. I got somebody's attention. Okay. Hello there. Glad to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Now, you guys have been wanting a massive explanation as to why I haven't hosted a live stream in such a long time. Well, there are several reasons. First of all, um, last year, my schedule changed. Up until this about a year or two ago, I was working all nights. Every single shift was a night shift. Okay. And I was able to balance out my days by just uh, uh, waking up late in the morning, getting stuff done. And then eventually, either I went to work or I did a live stream with you guys and I was able to pop up a whole bunch of lessons. I'm doing reasonably well, and I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. But anyway, the first thing I want to tell you guys was that. Oh, hello there, Crazy Josh Cravey. Yes, thank you for welcoming me back. I wanted to explain to everybody what has been happening here because you're like, well, man, you haven't really made an educational lesson in almost a year. I mean, we've done some looking for Lincoln stuff and some parades and that kind of stuff, but you're like, you really haven't put any major content up. Now, here's the thing. I did some of this explanation when I had a video. I took you guys all around Lake Decatur, and closer to the end of the video, I actually. Oh, hello, Pike County Poppy. Hi, well, hello there. I'm glad to see you. Glad to see you right there. All right, but anyway. Oh, we're getting busy here. I'm running errands for a bit, but I'll be listening on and off. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. But anyway, when I did the Lake Decatur video, closer to the end, I started explaining some of the things that have kept me from doing videos. Now, first of all, between August and December, I decided to write another Kindle book, and that was the first thing I did. Was I wrote the book Christmas at a Diner. If you have not read it, I highly recommend you to go ahead and do so and just read it and see what you think of it. I had two people actually buy it and did read it, and one actually let me know what they thought of it. They thought that the ending was a little short, but otherwise, it was a pretty decent story. And yeah, okay, fine. But anyway, what the? Oh, yeah, my kitty's here. My kitty cat is here, and she does not know that we're doing a live stream. Isn't that nice? I have two kitty cats, and I hope she doesn't mind. Let's go pick her up. I know. I just want to show you. There's my kitty cat, Huntley. Okay, enough time. Okay, I know. Oh, and there's Bright Eyes too. Oh my goodness, they're both here. Hold on. Come on, ladies. I'll take the best. Yeah, and come on, ladies, out the door. I'm doing a live stream. Bye. See ya. Bye. There you go. I don't know. Anyway, that was my mother at the door. Well, thank you for one's cat is named Huntley. The other cat is actually Bright Eyes. And I didn't know both of them were in here. What a surprise. Well, all right, the beginning of the live stream. There you go. Well, you got to see Huntley. Bright Eyes is not as sociable as Huntley is. I just finally got him. And the person you heard back there was my mother. And it's kind of a situation where instead of when a person gets to be a certain age, and I won't go deep into this, but when a person gets a certain age, some people would actually put their parents in a nursing home. I've decided instead, you know what? She's here, I'm here. She's just fine. And I got my laundry basket. Excuse me for a poke. Son of a lot. I'm really having a tough time today. Good grief. Ugh. Anyway, um, so what happens is it's just really nice to have her. She keeps us company, and I'm willing to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of, and I'll explain that a little bit later on in my live stream. But anyway, this live stream is not going quite the way I had planned, but as a bunch of laundry, and like I said, um, there's other thing. It's a long explanation. It really is, and I'll get into it. But anyway, like I was saying at the beginning, I had put some information on my live stream. Um, Not my live stream, but I did that video about Lake Decatur. I put a whole bunch of information on there. And now I can go a little bit further. Like I said, there are kids in the world when their parents get to be a certain age, they put them in a nursing home. I just decided, you know what? She's perfectly capable of taking care of herself, and I'm willing to keep her company, and I earn the money, and why put her someplace where I wouldn't be able to spend time with her? So she just kind of stays with me, and it just kind of helps with the bills. That's all. It's kind of a share thing. Um, but that's just how it is. So anyway, but I will tell you that my mother is definitely over 65. I'm 55 now. So yeah, she's definitely above 65. Uh so she's not exactly in the best of health. I mean, obviously you saw yourself that she was able to help me out, and I was able to help her out, and it's just kind of a family thing. We help each other out, and it all works out fine. We are members of a family, and we should spend time together. I mean, these are her golden years, so I like to spend as many of them I can with her, and she's great company. So I don't mind her being here. I'm a bachelor, so why not? And I'm not like most people. Most people would have kids by now, or even grandkids. I don't have any of that, so why not? So she spends time with me, and we get along great, really do. So there's absolutely no reason why she can't stay with me, and that's just it. So anyway, wow, that's part of the reason why uh things have been the way they have been, because as she has progressed with age, of course, there are things that I have to do now that she cannot do anymore. But that just comes with age. I don't expect her to do big, heavy lifting things or anything like that anymore. That's part of what I do. So it's okay. So I had to pick up a little bit of the burden. No big deal. In the depression era, families helped each other out. That's what they did. And my mother, even though she didn't grow up in the depression era, her parents did. And so we have the values of those that grew up in the depression era. We don't need a ton of stuff. Why do we? I mean, think about it. All these people that have a ton of stuff, A lot of times they have to sell that off eventually because bills go up, things happen, boom, there you go. Stuff has to leave. I don't have that much stuff to begin with, so I don't have to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff because I never had a bunch of stuff to begin with. And besides, think about it. You have to track this stuff down. You have to, yeah, you get the idea. So it's like, don't worry about it. So anyway, but uh, I have had to pick up some responsibilities right here that I haven't had to do before, and so that takes up part of my time. But some of the bigger reasons why I haven't done the live streams is because one, I wrote Christmas in a Diner. How many of you are now going to go and I have a video on my YouTube channel, and if you guys need the link, I'll be happy to send it to you. Describe Christmas in a Diner. There's a link down below in the description box. You click it, it'll take you directly so you can buy the book. It's only $5, so go for it. But that I wrote that between August and December. I believe it was in 2024. I got that done, and that's why you have it. I'm hoping to write 2 more sequels. So there you go. Anyway, another thing that actually took up my time was they did not properly explain the floating gate. Now, this is something that's going to be really, really important because you guys, as I will do, I'm not going to do it tonight, but I am going to do this one lesson, and it's going to be massive. Because what you need to know is that those solid state drives are not as reliable as you think they are. And I've got to explain to you why that is. And it took me a long time. It took me about 5 or 6 months to finally understand what they were trying to say. And I had to go through a lot of information, and I will go through a lot of information for you guys. It's gonna be a pretty big masterpiece video. You're like, okay, there you go. Now, another thing that happened was that our fuel bill went up. Okay. There was a couple of months that we were paying $600 a month fuel bills. 2 months worth of that. Can you imagine that? That's a lot of money, especially not making as much. Now, I will tell you that where I work, there was a reduction in hours and it hurt my budget. It really did. But here's the bigger thing. Here's the bigger thing. When winter really started in 2025, it got bitterly cold. Okay. Now, doing the live stream like this, that's not a big deal. Okay. But what was happening was that I did not want you to see me wearing a great big coat going burn all over the place because, we were trying to conserve fuel and it was getting kind of cold. And so, therefore, but when the cold suddenly shifted, now that's absolutely not, I'm not kidding you. We went from 40 and 50-degree weather within 2 to 3 weeks. We were now almost at 80. Okay. And with that sudden shift in temperature also came a bunch of severe weather. Now, I don't know if you know anything about this or not, but if there is severe weather like we had, oh boy, that severe weather, okay, you do not want your computer plugged in because one electric shock and your solid state drive goes kaput and you're done. Okay. Now I have my computer and my solid state drive. I have a second solid. It's an external hard drive. I got both of them hooked up, ready to go. Okay. So you say, wait a minute. You've got all that on a big surge protector? Yes, I do. So I unplugged my surge protector from the wall to protect my computer from being electroshocked by the horrible storms. Well, when the storms ended, finally, it got hot. We're talking 90 to 100-degree weather. Let me tell you something. One of the things that a lot of you people do not know is that when I went out to the Stonington Summerfest, that was the first parade I did this year. It was hot. It was near 100 degrees. Okay, so we went from an April of like 50, 60-degree weather where temperatures were like, you'd have an occasional 70-degree day, but mostly it was like 60s in the daytime and 40s at night. We shifted from that to almost 90 degrees within about 2 to 3 weeks. And that's not a joke. By the end of May, we were hot and we stayed hot for a long, long time. You know that video I did on June 21st? I went out to Williamsville and then I went out to the Illinois State Fairground and all that other goody stuff. You know what the temperature of that was? It was about somewhere between, now we're talking a heat index of about 102 to 104 degrees. 102 to 104 degrees. There you go. So anyway, woo! That was hot. I almost passed out. Okay, that is not a joke, folks. I almost passed out on the Camry. That's how hot it got. And so, okay. So we've got you had your first super cold, then the thunderstorms, then this excessive heat. Well, you don't want to run even with an air conditioner running, and I've got an air conditioner running right now, and you can hear it. Even with that air conditioner running, I did not want to run my computer red hot in a room like this. The humidity in here, even now, is not all that great, but it's not as bad as it was. So I said, no, we're not doing that. So, you have this combination of my mother and the fact that she's not as healthy as she used to be, and that's fine. She has gotten older, and there you go. Fine. And then you have this massive heat problem. Okay, well, you start with bitter cold, then you go to storms, then you go to massive heat. And then on top of that, the electric bills were like they were. But there was also this monetary problem because, after all, they had cut and it was just my hours, they cut everybody's hours at work. And we felt it. Let me tell you something. I do not work for Steak and Shake, okay? But I have Steak and Shake near my house. I could literally walk to it. I'll tell you something. But anyway, I have a Steak and Shake near my house. And this Steak and Shake, you walk in there, and when I was a kid, you walked in there, there was waitresses walking around. You could actually talk to a cashier, no big deal. Not anymore. Kiosks and nobody to serve you. And they don't even have plates anymore. No plates, glasses, nothing. Everything's in wrappers now and all this other stuff. Just like McDonald's, just like Burger King. It's sad. I felt incredibly low. There was when I walked in there, and I'm sure there's people that actually dine in. I don't know how many, but there are people actually dine in that place. But when I walked in there, that very moment, there was nobody in that place except the cooks and the manager. That's it. There was nobody else. There was nobody to talk to. You got to talk to a kiosk. And let me tell you something. For those of you, and I see them, I go to Walmart, I go to other places, and I can tell you, I see these people, and uh, they're not especially friendly. These customers are not especially friendly to the cashiers. Here's my answer to that. Here's my answer. If you think that cashier is not such a wonderful person, wait until the day that you have to deal with a kiosk, because there isn't anybody else to deal with. They actually have Amazon stores in certain places. You walk in and there's not a living soul in the entire store. Maybe you might get lucky and you might meet up with a stock person and you might have a brief conversation with them if you're lucky. Otherwise, there ain't nobody in that store. Now, let me clear that up for you. So before you go snapping at a cashier, just keep that in mind. There. And you see this all over the place. You would be hard pressed to find in certain places, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody to assist you in any way. And there you go. But anyway, sometimes I have that experience, sometimes not. But I just say be nice to your cashiers, because one of these days you may walk in and you may find nothing but a kiosk. And if you do, you're going to be like, now what do I do? Try complaining to a kiosk and see what happens. It won't be pretty. Okay. So we know the weather has something to do with it. My mother's health has something to do with it. Um, there was some people that I had talked to, and I mentioned this in my Labor Day parade footage. where I was telling everybody that I was going to try to get some special guests to join me as I videotape the parade, and that just didn't pan out. Let me tell you something. Christianity is like this. Let your yeses be yes, let your noes be noes. When I tell you that I'm going to be at the Labor Day parade, I meant business. I would have had to have something truly catastrophic to happen to me to have caused me not to be there. It's just that way. It really is. Yeah, some people do act like that they're above and beyond anyone else. I totally agree with you. And it's unfortunate, but like I said, one of these days they're going to have to deal with a kiosk. I know I went into a gas station once. No, it was a restaurant. I can't remember whether it was a restaurant or gas station. Well, I think I've done both at some point. And they have the soda pop dispenser, the fountain drinks, and you actually had to press buttons on the vending machine, and then it poured out your drink. Think about that for a second. Mhm. That's going to become more and more common as long as the economy continues to go the way it is, right? But the biggest thing that really kept me off the air was the floating gate, and I was trying to tell you that the floating gate was the clincher on this, okay? And I wanted to explain these solid state drives to you people because you guys are relying on solid state drives, and um, yeah. So don't be so reliant on solid state drives. I'm going to tell you guys every 2 to 5 years, you should buy a new solid state drive and dump all your files from your old drive to your new. Because if you don't, you will regret it. Guarantee it. And it took me almost 6 months to understand what was going on in those solid state drives. Now, it took me a period of time after that to formulate notes for other videos after that one. Now, I am still working on Rene Descartes. I got a part 3 that I'm going to do, and I will show you stuff in that, and then we'll go on with that from there. Um, if you'll remember, I did the Hot X Algebra Exposed. Um, there will be more lessons on that very, very soon, but I wanted to cover some topics with you before then. But there is yet another reason, and I've said this is about a monetary thing, because my hours got cut at work, and everybody's got cut. Everybody has had the cuts. No matter where you are, you've had the cuts. I needed a platform that was actually going to assist me financially. Okay. One of the things I've been trying to do is to get you guys to buy my Kindle books. And some of you have, and some of you have not. And it's okay if you haven't, but uh, you'll learn a lot, or you'll be very much entertained, depending on whether you buy Crystals at a Diner or the other books. If you buy the other books, you get educated. If you buy Crystals at a Diner, you'll be entertained. Either way, I get revenue from that. Not a lot, but I do get revenue. So that would financially support me, and not just support me, but my work. These books that I buy to teach you all this stuff are not cheap. Let me clarify that for you. Some of these books run above $20. Even used, they run $20. Think about it. So I needed an income. And I found out that there were some people that did not want to watch me on YouTube. They would not watch a single video I ever presented on YouTube. Just wouldn't do it. But there's another platform they would watch me on. And I went ahead, I have physical copies of all of the videos that I've ever done for the last 16 years on a solid state hard drive. And I took that and I decided to uh, place copies of the videos that I have here on YouTube over there. And so I have built up quite a collection on Rumble. Okay, I have built up a collection on Rumble. And I am finding now. Here's something I did find. The people that are here on YouTube, Um, there are some people that really are here. Then there are some people that, well, what can I say? Um, they are they're bots. They're robots. They're not real people. But the people over there in Rumble, they're more realistic. And I'm hoping that as they watch my videos over there, because they refuse to watch my videos over here, that they will watch the ones where I start advertising my Kindle books, and so therefore they'll buy those, and I can have an additional revenue stream to make up for the lost hours that I have at work, which would be a benefit to all of you guys because then I can buy the books necessary to teach you guys what you wanted to know. So that's another thing that's been I like I said, I had my hard drive, I hooked it up to Rumble, and I started loading videos right and left. Right now they're getting one video a day. All the stuff they're getting is stuff that I've already had for on YouTube, sometimes for several years. It depended on the quality of the video, and I'm like, okay, some videos will transfer over there, sometimes it won't, yada yada. But that was another reason why I did that. And now you're beginning to see that there were actual good reasons why I did not do what you think I should have done. Okay. Now, I did want to talk about the Labor Day parade in particular. The Labor Day parade was another situation. I went out early. I was there about 8:35, 8:40 ish, somewhere along the line. And I went to the Amarin building because we have an Amarin building here in Decatur. It used to be a Montgomery Wards. If you ever take a look at there's a fence that runs around the Amarin building. It has an M and a W on it. That used to be Montgomery Wards. It used to be all green, but some of the green has flaked away, and some of it's still there. It just depends. But anyway, I walked from the Civic Center to the Amarin building. Now, if you know anything about the walk between the Civic Center and the Amarin building, that's about an hour. Okay, like you walked an hour? Yes, I did. Okay. I talked to some people over there. Then I walked to a gas station on El Dorado Street. Anybody knows Decatur like you should. I walked all the way over there to Decatur to El Dorado Street. And I can tell you what, from the Amarin building, that's quite a walk. That's about a mile. It really is. And then I walked all the way back to the Amarin building. I was gonna go to the restroom over there because they had some porta potties. But there was a big line for them, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna miss this parade. So I thought, okay, I'll just go over there and videotape the parade and suffer. So I went out and got myself in position. I actually talked to some more people doing that. And then after that, when the parade was over, I actually talked to some more people. And then everybody left, and I went to Subway. Now, Subway was having some technical issues. I didn't know that. They didn't exactly have a sign on the door saying, "Hey, we're having technical issues." Well, my employer uh, last Christmas was very nice and gave me a very nice gift card for Subway. And I went in there, I was going to use it. And because there are technical difficulties, I was not able to use it. And I was a little disappointed. So there you are. I will be talking to Subway about that and see if I can be at least somewhat compensated for the, oh, shall we say, inconvenience would be the thing. It was a little bit of an inconvenience to me, but whatever. Uh, but there you go. Uh, I mean, the meal was great. It really was. I had a steak and cheese sandwich, not sandwich, but salad. Uh, Brett and I don't get along very well anymore. But it is a little inconvenient that I had to pay cash because the card wouldn't work. And you say, well, why didn't you pay with a credit card? Because their whole system was not working properly and it was not accepting any other form of payment other than cash. It would have been nice if they'd put a sign on the door saying that, but they didn't. And well, they but it is what it is. Life moves on, and so do we. But the reason I brought all this up is because there is a Facebook page called History of the Heartland, and apparently they had done a live stream of the uh, Labor Day parade. Okay, fine, cool. That's cool. But here's the thing. Um, because it's a live stream. Now I had videotaped it myself, so you're like, okay. One of the things is that they're getting better at it, but they do not have full internet coverage downtown Decatur. They just don't. You're trying to find a hotspot, it's still a problem. It's not as big of a problem as it used to be, but finding a hotspot, especially where I was at, not so good. Okay, fine. But that prohibits me from doing the kind of live stream that they did. But there was one other problem. Anytime you have copyrighted music on a live stream, YouTube can, at its discretion, just shut off your live stream and shut down your channel. They could just rip it right apart. Bye, you're done. And I just don't want to take the risk of that. And yes, there was some copyrighted music towards the end of the parade. Now, if you watched my footage, you noticed that I removed that. When they did their presentation live, how could they have possibly removed all that music? There's no way. And I'm pretty sure it's on their thing. Now, I don't know. History of the Heartland's on Facebook. I don't know what the rules of Facebook are, and they may be a little different than what they are on YouTube. But I mean, there is a possibility at some point if Facebook discovers this little hiccup in their live stream, they may pull their whole Facebook page off the map. It's possible. I don't know. We'll see. Only time will tell on that. So I can't say yes or no or anything like that. I don't. We'll see. But that is something that they run the risk of. Okay. And it's something I also run the risk of. So that's why I don't do that. I don't do it live. I just put it up on YouTube. I actually edit out the music and then I put it up on YouTube. So that's not a big issue for them. But anyway, one of the things that they were doing is they were having some comments, and they made a reference, not a direct reference, but an indirect reference to my YouTube channel. Okay. They were saying something to the effect of, "Oh well, this live stream is on Facebook. It's not on YouTube." Okay, fine. I mean, the implication I got out of it was, well, gee, you should have been live. And if it wasn't for the professional music and the kind of off and on internet, that might have been applicable. But I just couldn't take the risk, and I'm not going to. I got too good of a YouTube channel. I'm just not going to do that. So I replied back, mentioning the lackluster internet that they've got out there. Their hotspots aren't all that great. Two was the copyright music. And I also stated that I have direct ties to the Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition. On top of that, I have an audience that's a lot bigger than just the Facebook. Okay. Uh, with YouTube and even with Rumble, you can watch that on your Roku. You can turn your Roku on. There it is. Boom. There you go. You can't do that with Facebook. Not even Instagram. You can't pull up an Instagram app on your television. Boy, if you could, that'd be wonderful. That'd be fantastic. Ooh, which that's not even possible. Now that might change. Someday, Roku and Facebook and Instagram might all strike up a deal. Fantastic. But I also wanted to point that out. It was like, I run things a little differently. I have better connections. I have connected with people, and I brought this up. I said, you guys, this is the very first parade they've ever done. Fine, great. But this is not the first parade I've ever done. I have videotaped the Stonington Summerfest, the Blue Mountain Fall Festival. One time I videotaped the Assumption Parade. I also videotaped the parade over there in Mount Plaskett. I'm getting ready to do that again. And like I said, I have direct ties with the Looking for Lincoln people. So I have more ties than they do. And you will be able to see that at some point. Okay, here we go. Anyway, uh, they were not exactly pleased to hear my response. And I'm sorry that they were so pleased, but that is the way it is. But I also went on to YouTube today and I found some other parade footage. And I was talking to one guy. He had put up a minute's worth of parade footage from I don't know where it was. And I had told him that I first asked him, I said, "Where's the rest of the parade footage? I would have loved to have seen it all." But it didn't happen. And what happened next was he replies back to me. I'll do things my way, you do things your way, and no, fine. I will do things my way, and you can do things your way. If you want to put up just a little smidgen of video, yes, your choice. But the thing is, you have to think about the viewer. And I don't think that that person was really thinking about the viewers when he did that. Might have been, I don't know. But if I were doing the same thing, I would put up the whole parade because I want my viewers to see everything and not just a little snippet. That's just me. Now, why did I position myself in the place that I did? Well, the main reason I positioned myself in the place that I did. Okay, the reason why I positioned myself the way I did was because anybody that goes down to the library, WAND television, they have a camera crew out there and they videotape. And that's fine, great. They can have their footage fine. But the thing is that they angle themselves in such a way that it causes me not to get the kind of shots that I want to get. And so therefore I position myself towards the beginning of the parade. And it also gives me an opportunity because where I'm positioned, I can then walk over to the Ameren building afterwards and talk to the people leaving the parade before they ever leave. So it really works out better for me if I'm over there instead of over at the library because it would take me forever to get to that Ameren building. The way I have myself set up that way, I could get there in a matter of minutes. And there you go. And besides, it takes them because they have to circle around El Dorado Street and come back out the other direction. It gives me time to catch up to them before they ever leave. And there you go. So it makes it a better position for me. But I think you're now beginning to see why I haven't done any live streams, haven't done any whatever. Um, so the real question is, am I going to do live streams in the future? The answer is yes. Um, I'm going to try to design something. Um, I just found out tonight that Rumble requires live stream software, and I'm going to start doing live streams over there because there are people over there who refuse to watch a live stream that I do over here. So okay, I'll do live streams over there. No big deal. Uh, but I'm going to check out these live stream softwares and see which one is most compatible to Rumble, and then run it. Okay. And I'll have to look up the best free live stream softwares, but I didn't know you had a live stream software installed in your computer before you can run a live stream over there. I did not know that. I will find out, and boom, there you go. But when that comes to pass, I'll start doing live streams over there. Hopefully, attract some more attention. What are my plans for the future? Well, here are my plans for the future. One, we have not finished all the Koine Greek letters. I'm sure you've seen that by now. I'm going to tutor you on all those Koine Greek letters. Why? Because of what I told you guys about the Harvard Shield and um, the letters that the university students in our country today wear on their sweatshirts and t-shirts and hats and whatever. They wear those letters. They don't have a clue as to what they really represent. And I'm trying to clue them in. But another thing I will continue to do is I'm going to teach you guys Morse code and Braille. You say, well, you taught Braille once before. I did. Now we're going to do it again. Okay, but the last time I taught it, the resolution was poor. This time it's going to be a lot better. And I may go ahead and show you some of the illustrations on my Facebook fan page. I want you to go over there and take a look at that. Um, and then on top of all that, we're going to continue the lessons on Rene Descartes. We will get into hot X algebra exposed after I teach you a few other things. But some of the main things I'm getting ready to do is to redo videos that I did a long time ago and do them again. This time in a higher def, higher resolution, pop them up. And there you go. And so that's what's been going on, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I have not done a lot of live streams. Mostly at this point, at this point, because I have already written Christmas at a Diner. I have already researched the floating gate to the best of my ability. I'm going to go ahead and present that. One of the other things you're going to see from me, you remember all those geometry videos I did, and their resolution is really not great. I'm going to redo them. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to draw every last one of them, and then we'll go up from there. Okay? But there's your answer. So it has never been, nor will it ever be, that I didn't want to do live streams. I did, but things happen. Okay. So sometimes you're gonna see Euclid's Elements. I'll pop up some videos, boom, there you go. My ultimate plan is to redo the Italian lessons one more time. This time, I'm gonna finish them. I'm gonna show you how to speak fluent Italian. And you're gonna see that. So, do you now see what's been complicating everything? I'm hoping now. I know tomorrow night there's gonna be a bunch of rain and storms and that kind of stuff. Probably won't be in the severe limits, but then we're gonna get really, really cold again. And I'm gonna try to do some live stream software, and by doing so, uh, I'll be able to put like a little cover where you won't see me particularly. I like to design that in the wintertime. And again, in the real summertime, sometimes at night, if I can get a chance, because once that sun goes down in the summertime, I can turn the air conditioner on enough where I'll be comfortable enough to do the live stream, but you guys won't see me. Now, I want to mention one other thing before I really conclude this broadcast. The last thing I want to do is uh, I want to, uh, oh, yes, Route 66 is going to turn 100 next year. And they're going to have a smashing big party somewhere in downtown Springfield. I don't know the exact date. They have not told me. When they do, I'm going to deliberately schedule it off. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to videotape the whole thing. I don't care if it's an hour's worth of speeches, 2 hours worth of, I don't care. And I'm going to do that. And when that's done, I'll pop that up. Now, before the Mount Pulaski Festival this year, I'm going to go ahead and videotape a bunch of those Route 66 signs. I did not get a chance to do all of them the last time. This time I'm going to get a chance to do the rest of them. And then after that, there you go. So basically, you'll have the Route 66 signs. I'll go out to eat. After that, I'll videotape the parade. Bam, I'm going to be done. I will be attending the Clinton Apple and Pork Festival at some point. Exactly when, I don't know. I don't know the whole schedule yet. So there you go. All right. That's a lot to tell you guys. I want to thank you guys very much for being with me tonight. Uh, just knowing what's been going on, and it was a lot, a lot more than I think, and a lot more than you thought. And so, um, I wanted to thank you very much for watching this and understanding what's been going on. I did want to show you one other thing before we can't conclude this. I'll have to do some extra drawing. There's my next illustration, folks. I'll be getting the dry erase board out. That's Rene Descartes, part 3. There you go. So you can see I've been doing some work, folks. Really, I have. Another thing I'd like to discuss at this point is these Amber bills. I have been seeing a lot of Facebook posts about them. Some of them are not so fun to see. A lot of people want to discuss the problem, but they don't really want to solve it. That's the difference. Now, I don't know whether you saw this or not, but I have been fixing some things here on YouTube. And one of them was I made a playlist of all the stuff I thought would be involved in the solar panel thing. And I just wanted to show you that. So if you go through my playlist, there's now one that says solar panel, and I hope you check that out. I have actually taken the notes for a solar tube, and I'll explain that in a future video. So that's coming up. So the next time I do a live stream, I don't have to describe all the things that have been happening to me and whatever. But it just was one of those situations where I didn't get a chance to tell you everything. And now I can. All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for watching this presentation. Please offer me some feedback. And more importantly, please be patient for a little bit longer. The videos will come. Sometimes the videos will come and you won't see me. I'd like to do that in the wintertime. Not all the time, but like, say, in the deep part of, say, the latter part of December and the early part of January, where you guys aren't seeing me, because sometimes this room gets pretty cold. And I might have to wear a hooded sweatshirt or possibly even a winter coat. Depends on how cold it gets. But I dress myself warmly. But the thing is, I don't want you to see that. Not that it's not true. It's just, it's distracting. So we don't want to. So I will design some illustrations and that kind of thing, and then have it set up where you guys can see something, but just not me. You don't really need to see me like that. You really don't. Okay. And I can then design some other illustrations so you won't have to see me like that. Because, when I do the regular videos, I could just edit out whatever I don't want people to see, and then there you go. But that would be designed for late December and, like early to mid January when it's the coldest. The rest of the time, you'll be able to see me, and that'd be great. But the thing is that the Kindle books are what I really need for the revenue stream. And I have been writing another Kindle book called Did You Remember Everything Part 2? I actually dug out PTCB on a budget. Uh, I will at some point explain some of the difficulties I've been running into with that as well. I've got to contact some people and ask them some very specific questions and hopefully get the kind of answers I need to get things solved. So, what did you guys think of my live stream? I'm glad you're thrilled that I'm back. Now you're beginning to see some of the complications I've ran into. Things have not been all that great around here. I will tell you that last year, my wonderful sister bought a new car. Unfortunately, they didn't tell her all the things that were wrong with it. And so we had a bunch of car repairs that had to be done on it. It was not pleasant, but everything's back to normal now. Everything's fine. But the car needed some repairs. Now, I won't kid you, and it was not cheap either. It is what it is. But that was another thing that got into the way. So, like I said, there were things that. Now, I will tell you this. I will tell you this. You might think that being wealthy is about the best thing you do. Let me tell you something. Your taxes are a lot cheaper when you don't have as much. My power bill actually is cheaper because I live in a house like this. Believe it or not, I have seen people that have had double and triple what I paid. And it's breaking their backs. They don't know how to pay for it. It's sad, but it's true. But thankfully, because my mother and my sister and I pool our finances together in a unique way, uh, everything works out. We each contribute and we each get something out of the deal. And there you go. But I'm not going to get into how we all contribute to the finances of the house, the whole night. It's none of your concern. The point is that we need at this point, or at least my family needs, and I need an additional revenue stream, not only to maintain our expenses here, but also, so I can educate you. That's right. Part of that money actually goes into buying books and teaching you stuff. One thing I have noticed is that there are several people subscribed to this YouTube channel and even the Rumble that do not consistently watch my videos. Let me tell you something. And this is something I'm going to fix because I had a guy complain to me about this, and we're going to go ahead and fix it too. I'm going to make a much shorter intro to my videos. It's not going to be 4 minutes long anymore. So we're going to make a shorter intro. Okay. But um, I am going to reemphasize to you guys that the like button and the subscribe button play very little, if any, role in how YouTube rates videos and sends it out to the general public. It is more about the watch time and nice comments that are left on videos that motivate YouTube to share them. That's what they look for. You know why? I'll explain it real quick. When you like a video, that doesn't necessarily mean you watch the whole thing. Some people only watch a few seconds, click it off, and boom. I've seen people with my parade and they'll skip along the parade. They won't watch the whole presentation. I've seen that. I have analytics to show me that. They may not show me who did it, but they will definitely show me that that's exactly what they did. You're like, you mean to me that there are actually people that will sit there and skip through your videos and not watch the whole presentation? You betcha. I've seen it. And that doesn't necessarily make me happy. And it also destroys my watch time, which causes YouTube to say, oh, well, we don't really want to share this video because it'll be watching. I'm getting more ratings tonight from this live stream than I have from some of my other videos. Like, really? Now, there is a live stream program that they've got over there on Rumble. Thing is, though, you have to subscribe uh, as a monthly fee to Rumble before you can actually have that. I think that's ridiculous and stupid. But whatever. That's just my personal opinion. Take with it whatever you want. But anyway, the main thing is I need my Kindle books to sell. It would give me a great revenue stream for my work. So hopefully you guys will watch this, and to help me continue my work, I need sales on my Kindle books. It's that simple. So keep that in mind. And the thing is that if I get more sales of those Kindle books, I'll work less at my real job. And I'll come home and I will then design more Kindle books and more videos for you. The main reason why I haven't put up a lot of content for you is because I am still at a job. If I was not at that job anymore, I would be doing this for you. Now, I know in roughly about 12 years, I get to retire. That's 12 years from now. You want to wait another 12 years for all my content? I don't think so. So if you really want my content, promote and buy my Kindle books. Okay, it would motivate me to finally come home and do the kind of work you guys really want from me, and I know you do, and I'm thrilled to do it. One programming notation in 2034. The Bloomington Steak and Shake will be turning 100 years old. If you guys want to go out there and videotape all the presentations and stuff, feel free to do so. It is an event coming up, and I'll probably go to it, but sitting there videotaping for 2, 3 hours in the hot sun, not at that age. So there you go. All right. Well, I've told you a lot of stuff today, and I wanted to thank you very, very much for watching this presentation. I will definitely tell you more in a future live stream. And some of these live streams, like I said, are going to be over there in Rumble and not on YouTube because there's some people that will not watch me on YouTube. So I'm going to shift over there. Not all the time, but I will. And I'm going to have to find some live stream software that I can use on my computer to be, compatible with Rumble. So there'll be some experimentation going on over there. And after that, we'll get going. All right. I will tell you more in future videos, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.